after 60. Text him these 5 words and watch him chase you nonstop. The women who have men completely obsessed with them aren't the ones sending sweet good morning texts or telling him how much they care. After 60, you stop playing games, but that doesn't mean you've forgotten how the game works. By this age, you've learned that chasing never earns respect, but mystery does. And sometimes, all it takes is one simple message, just 5 words to flip the dynamic completely. Most women over 60 think the spark fades because of age. But in truth, it fades because we start over-explaining, over-giving, and under-communicating our value. While you're pouring your heart out in long messages, the woman he's actually thinking about just sent him something that made his pulse quicken and his mind race with questions. Welcome back to my channel. It's Vernon again. Today, I'll reveal the 5 words that make any man chase you nonstop, especially after 60. These 5 words I'm about to share with you don't sound romantic. They don't sound sweet. They sound almost dangerous. And that's exactly why they work. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more real-world lessons on love, communication, and emotional power after 60. Let's uncover why the right words, spoken at the right time, can reignite his desire and make him remember exactly what he stands to lose. Number 1. Maybe. There's a quiet kind of power in the word maybe. It's soft, simple, but for a man, especially after 60, it carries mystery. When you say maybe, you're not rejecting him, but you're not confirming him either. You're reminding him that your time, your energy, and your affection are not guaranteed. They're earned. Men at this stage of life have lived through certainty, the predictable. Yes, the comforting routine, the easy approval. What they don't expect anymore is intrigue, and maybe gives them exactly that. It wakes something up inside, a spark of pursuit, curiosity, and effort. Because now, he has to wonder. Say he asks, "Would you like to meet for dinner?" You smile and reply, "Maybe." Not cold, not distant, just calm, playful, confident. That one word leaves room for him to work, to earn your yes. It shifts the energy instantly. You're no longer the one waiting for his attention, he's the one leaning in, trying to read between the lines. When he hears maybe, his mind doesn't rest. He replays your tone, imagines your smile, wonders if it meant interest or distance. It's human nature. When something isn't handed to us, we reach for it. And that's exactly what maybe does. It invites him to participate. If he truly values you, that one word will pull him into motion. He might text back, trying to make you laugh. He might plan something better just to earn a real yes. Maybe turns passive attraction into active effort, because now he's no longer certain of your answer, and that uncertainty reawakens his desire to earn you. Maybe works because it holds balance. It's not a game, it's grace. It shows that you're open, but not available to just anyone, that you can be interested without being predictable. Have you ever noticed how a single word can turn a man's certainty into curiosity? Because at this age, mystery isn't about playing hard to get. It's about showing that you have a life full of meaning, with or without him, which we'll explore right this. Number 2, take your time. Most women think showing patience means waiting quietly. But after 60, real patience isn't about waiting. It's about knowing your worth while he figures out yours. Those 3 little words, take your time, do something remarkable to a man. They remove pressure, yet build desire. When you say, take your time, after he apologizes, hesitates, or pulls back, you're not dismissing him. You're showing that your world doesn't stop spinning while he sorts himself out. You're calm, collected, and emotionally grounded. Three things men find magnetic, especially in a world full of noise and demand. He expects questions, not quiet. He's used to women asking for timelines, explanations, reassurances, the constant when and why that make him feel like he's being cornered. But when you simply say, "Take your time," you shift the entire balance. You're no longer the one seeking closure. You've already found it within yourself. That calmness unsettles him because it tells him something words can't. You've detached with grace. You're not punishing him, not chasing, and not waiting. You've just stepped out of the emotional tug of war and handed him the rope. What he does with it now, that's his lesson to learn. Men after 60 crave ease, not drama, not games, just emotional safety. And this phrase gives him exactly that. He feels trusted, respected, unpressured. But what he doesn't realize at first is that your serenity is what pulls him closer. The calmer you are, the more he leans in. That's the secret. Your peace becomes his compass. And the moment he feels safe in your calm, he starts chasing not because you asked him to, but because he finally wants to. Have you ever used calm instead of confrontation and watched how it changed everything? Share your experience in the comments. Sometimes, the most powerful way to draw a man closer is to stop trying to pull it all. And that's when the chase begins again. Not out of guilt or fear of loss, but from the quiet pull text of a woman who no longer needs to be pursued to feel whole. Number 3, I understand. At this stage in life, men aren't just afraid of rejection, they're afraid of judgment. After 60, they've lived through years of being criticized, misunderstood, or made to feel like they constantly fall short. That's why the 3 words, I understand, have such a profound effect. They don't sound seductive, but they are. Because for a man who's used to being corrected, being understood feels like coming home. When you say, I understand, you're not excusing his behavior or agreeing with everything he does. You're simply showing emotional maturity, the ability to see beyond his walls. Instead of fighting to prove a point, you give him permission to lower his guard. You make him feel seen, not managed. And that difference changes everything. My friend Evelyn, who'd been seeing a widower named James. Whenever he grew distant, she didn't accuse him or demand explanations. She'd just say, I understand. Take on the time you need. One evening, James told her, You're the first woman who's ever made me feel safe enough to talk, not defend. That's the power of understanding. It disarms pride, and in its place, it plants trust. Men after 60 crave that kind of peace, the kind that doesn't challenge their worth, but reminds them they still have one. When you respond with empathy instead of ego, something in him softens. He begins to associate your presence with safety, not pressure, and that safety draws him back again and again. Because in the end, I understand isn't about giving in. It's about knowing when peace is more powerful than pride. It's the quiet confidence of a woman who no longer needs to prove she's right to feel valued. She's learned that understanding doesn't mean accepting bad behavior. It means choosing clarity over chaos. When you respond with, I understand, you're not losing ground. You're setting emotional terms. You're telling him, without saying it outright, I see you, I hear you, but I'm still standing in my calm. And once he feels that kind of understanding, not the kind that fixes him, but the kind that frees him, something subtle but powerful happens. He starts to mirror your calm. That's where the next secret begins. Number 4, you're right. It sounds simple, even submissive, but when used with grace, you're right becomes one of the most disarming magnetic phrases a woman can ever say. Especially after 60, when you've learned that peace is more powerful than pride, this phrase does something unexpected. It makes him listen. When a man hears "you're right," his defenses drop instantly. The need to argue fades, and for a moment, he feels seen instead of challenged. But beneath that calm agreement lies something deeper: composure. You're not surrendering. You're choosing your battles. You're reminding him that validation doesn't have to cost you self-respect. Here's the secret. "You're right" doesn't close the door. It gently leaves it open just enough for him to walk through on his own. That pause you create isn't weakness. It's space. And in that space, his mind starts replaying the conversation. Your tone, your timing, your calm. He begins to realize that you weren't conceding. You were inviting him to think. What makes this so powerful is that reflection is far more persuasive than resistance. When you argue, his ego steps forward. But when you agree softly, his awareness does. That's when he begins to question himself, not because you forced him to, but because your calm made him feel safe enough to do it. It's a quiet art that only comes with experience, knowing that control doesn't have to be loud to be effective. You've turned the energy of the conversation from defense into introspection. And once that happens, he starts leaning closer, not to debate you, but to understand you. When you respond with "you're right," you're showing strength wrapped in gentleness. It's the power to soothe without surrender, to lead without force. And that balance, that emotional fluency, is what keeps him coming back again and again. Take a moment to like this video. Your support helps me keep creating content that reminds women, especially after 60, that wisdom, grace, and quiet confidence are still the strongest tools of attraction. What happens next is where the real secret unfolds. How the right words, spoken with quiet confidence, can reignite desire in ways no grand gesture ever could. Number 5. I'm happy for you. Few phrases strike a man more deeply than hearing "I'm happy for you," especially from the woman who once centered his world. On the surface, it sounds kind, polite, even detached. But beneath that calm tone is something far more powerful: acceptance. When you say it with genuine grace, you're not pretending you don't care. You're showing that you've outgrown the need to be chosen. There's a saying by Viktor Frankl: between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That's what you've mastered. You've chosen calm. And in that calm, he finally learns what true strength, quiet, unshaken, and free really looks like. For a man, that realization is disorienting. He's used to emotion, anger, sadness, pleading, but peace catches him off guard. It tells him the chapter has closed, but not in bitterness. You're not competing for his attention anymore. You're simply wishing him well and walking away lighter. And that's what makes the words unforgettable. They don't sting, they echo. That's the beauty of emotional maturity. After 60, you stop seeking validation and start living from self-assurance. You no longer chase acknowledgement because your presence itself carries quiet authority. I'm happy for you becomes more than words. It's a declaration that you've made peace with what was and open space for what's next. Forgiveness may still be complicated, memories may still linger, but they no longer control you. You've learned that real power doesn't come from proving you've moved on. It comes from simply being moved on. That serenity, that emotional steadiness, is something no one can fake, and when he senses it, it humbles him. He sees that you've reached a place he cannot disturb, not because he's unwelcome, but because you've outgrown the version of yourself that needed him. Nothing haunts a man more than the woman who no longer needs him to find peace. At this stage in life, love is no longer a game. It's a reflection of self-worth. The 5 words you've learned in this video. Maybe. Take your time, I understand. You're right, I'm happy for you aren't tricks or tactics. They're reminders of who you've become. Calm, confident, and no longer willing to chase what should come naturally. Each phrase holds quiet authority. Together, they teach a timeless truth. You don't need to demand attention when you already command presence. The older you grow, the softer your strength becomes, and the more he feels it. Because the chase doesn't begin when you try harder. It begins when you stop needing to. Your support is what keeps this community growing. Every like and comment tells me these reflections matter, that they help women rediscover their quiet strength, their worth, and their joy in this beautiful season of life. So go ahead, like, share, and subscribe for more heartfelt lessons on love, peace, and feminine wisdom after 60. Let's keep reminding the world, your power doesn't fade with age, it deepens. And I'm Vernon, thank you for watching my video till now, and see you next time.